Hey everyone, Coach Bonnie here from Icon Sports Recruiting. We are going to try something a little different today. I want to give you a parent's perspective on the recruiting process, and it's coming from me, a parent who went through the process about 8 or 9 years ago with my son playing baseball. Um, so I wanted to give you an idea of why we chose to start Icon Sports Recruiting, because we learned a lot from that recruiting phase of our lives with my son, and I thought I could help other parents um, with this process. So, without further ado, let me give you a little bit of a background on who I am. Although you've probably seen my website and seen some of my videos and stuff like that. Uh, I was a former D1 athlete. I played for the University of Connecticut. I played softball, but recruiting back then was not like it is now. It was a lot less competitive. You had to do a lot of things manually. You had to look a lot of things up in a book. They had no internet. Yes, I am that old or that wise. And you had to send letters to coaches or call them on the phone, which is very intimidating for an 18-year-old person. So, um, fast forward to 2014, 2015, where my son was playing baseball and he was getting a lot of looks from baseball coaches um, in college. And so we really didn't know where to start, even though I had some experience with my experiences. It wasn't the same. You know, now you had the internet where coaches could look up things and you had social media. I mean, it's not as popular as it is now, but it was starting to come into its own. And, so there's a lot more tools out there than I had when I was being recruited. So, with that being said, we had no idea what to do. We didn't know if we could talk to coaches, and we learned very quickly you're not allowed to talk to coaches uh, at a certain time frame. So we had to look that stuff up on the NCAA. So we went to the NCAA and we looked up baseball to see when we were allowed to talk to coaches, when we're not allowed to talk to coaches. Now my son was being recruited as early as his freshman year. There he was on coaches' radars because he was a pitcher and he was throwing pretty hard. So, but you know they show interest and then you drop off their radar, and that that's what happens. You have to be a little bit more proactive, and we learned that very quickly, that even though coaches were looking at him, they were looking at other players and, you had to follow up with them and things like that. So we learned a lot, um, back when he was being recruited. He ended up being recruited for about 5 D1 programs, which in itself is very difficult because now you have to go on visits and things like that. And then he has to make a decision. They all offered him something, and he had to make a decision. Um, uh, you know, which is hard for an 18-year-old. You're trying to figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life, as well as where do I want to play. And we learned a lot from that as well. He didn't like where he chose, and so therefore, he got hurt, which was, secondary. So here you are with a kid who's hurt, who hates the school he's at, and now what? So he ended up transferring out and going to a JUCO program. It turned out he needed surgery, so he pretty much stopped playing baseball. Um, but that doesn't happen to everyone. My biggest word of advice is to you and to parents and to student athletes who are looking is to research your schools. Research where you're gonna go, because if you, as a student, do not like where you're at, you are not gonna like playing the sport there either. Yeah, the coach offered you all this stuff, blah, 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 you feel like you have to go there, and so that's not necessarily the case, okay? You need to make the decision for you and not for another coach. You need to be happy there, you need to like the social life there, you need to like the campus there, and you need to like the people there. Because one coach isn't gonna make you stay there. And what happens if you do get hurt? Okay? Now you're at a school you don't even wanna be at. And that happened to my son. He hated the school he was at. He didn't like the kids. He didn't like the environment. So he ended up, transferring out to a JUCO school. He played at the JUCO school for a year or 2, got hurt, had to have surgery, and then he said, "You know what? I'm just gonna go, to a four-year school," which he ended up going to Pitt and absolutely loved it out there. He played club baseball. He had a great life out there. It worked out that way for him. But if you wanna play your sport out of school, I suggest you love the school, the whole package, the sport, the academics, your major, can I major there? And also you need to love the social interaction there because, the sport is not supposed to define you. You wanna be happy where you're going. Um, and, freshmen as a freshman going into a college, it's hard. I was super homesick, but, I stayed and ended up loving being where I was at, eventually. Um, it worked out differently for my son. My daughter ended up throwing javelin at a D1 program down in North Carolina. Absolutely loved the school, stayed there, is probably gonna live there for the rest of her life, and if you don't know by now, I am from New Jersey, so that's very hard for a mom like me. From the parents' side, coaches don't wanna talk to you, and that we learned that very hard. Tried to talk to coaches, but they don't wanna talk to you. Your job is to support your child with whatever they wanna do, wherever they wanna be. Do not talk to coaches for your child. They have to learn to talk to coaches for themselves. Um, and you learn this very quickly. They wanna know, what grades your kid has. They wanna know all this stuff about your kid, but they don't wanna hear it from the parent because you know what? We're parents. We love our children. Our children are awesome. They could be the worst people in the world, but they're still awesome. Okay? Coaches don't wanna hear that. They wanna hear what they're doing to progress their athleticism or their academics or, you know, what are you looking for in a school? Or, do you wanna play in a school? So, parents, you support your child. 100 and 150% support your child. Okay? That's what you're there for. You're there to comfort them when they need it. You're there to boost them up when they need it. Um, you can help them with their letters behind the scenes. You can help them say, "Hey, do you want to really be that far?" Or do you, you can push them in a direction. But ultimately, it's where they're going to be happy because you're not doing the school for them and you're not playing the sport for them. So your job is to be supportive. Um, and so that's why I made this video. I am a parent and I also was an athlete at a school, and I had very supportive parents. But the bottom line was I needed to be happy where I was. My son needed to be happy where he was. My daughter needed to be happy where she was. And they needed to make that decision about where they were going to be. Now, my son wanted a bigger school. He wanted, he went to Pitt. So he wanted a bigger school, a bigger environment. My daughter needed smaller classes. She liked the small class environment, so she went to a smaller private school. Um, that's going to depend on your child. They want to be at a bigger school. I know some people want to go to Alabama, but can you play your sport at Alabama? They wanna go to a big football school, even though they don't play football. Maybe they wanna go to a big basketball school. That's purely what they want. They want the whole school experience, or don't they want the whole school experience? Maybe they just wanna go to a smaller school. These are all things you have to think about when you're looking at schools. So that's why we created Icon Sports Recruiting. Um, the software itself it sells itself. You can look at every college in America, whether it's NCAA Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, NAIA, which by the way offers scholarships as well, uh, is in this software. And also JUCO schools. If you're just not ready for the four-year program, there's also places where you can look for your junior colleges. Maybe you wanna go to a local junior college. Maybe a coach is looking at you from there, and maybe you can leapfrog into a bigger school. Our software is number 1 in the country. It it houses all of the coaches across the board in all of the colleges in the United States, and so all you have to do is go onto our software and look up, do they have my major? Do they have my sport? Do I wanna go there? Is it a big school? How big are the size classes? There's a lot of information there that you can get. So, if you're interested, I would certainly love to talk to you about our software. But this is why we created Icon Sports Recruiting. We want to help many students get to the next level of playing their sport. And it does not matter to me. You want to play D3? There's plenty of money there to be had. There are grants, there are academic scholarships. There's ways around getting money to you if you want to go to a D3 because you just don't want the pressure of having to play at a D2 or a D1 level. There's also money at NAIA, which is even less pressure for you. They have championships there. It's not like a D1 where, oh, you get all you know, the uh, the perks and whatnot, but you might not be a D1 level athlete. I don't care. I want to help you. I want to be there for you. I want to get you into the college of your dreams to be able to play the sport that you currently play at the next level because there are people who don't get this opportunity to do that. And that's what I want to do. I want to help you to be successful in your college career, whether it's in academics or in athletics. We want to get you to the program that you want to be at, that you're going to thrive at, that you're going to become a leader at. So, if you have any doubts or any questions that about what we do, please feel free to reach out to us. You can email us at iconsportsrecruiting@gmail.com. You can go onto our Facebook page. We have Icon Sports Recruiting a Facebook page. We also on Instagram. We are also on Twitter at Icon Sports REC. So there are many ways to get in touch with you. You want to text us. Please feel free to text. If you don't want to talk on the phone, that's fine. I get it. 732-865-3985. Text us. We will be more than happy to answer any questions you have about the college recruiting process. Um, the software is key, though, and so you can go on our website at iconsportsrecruiting.com. You can check out um, some links there that will show you the software. You can also check out our YouTube page. I have a lot of software. I have a lot of tips up there if you want to take a look at. But please, please, please feel free to reach out to us. Um, I'll just end it with this. The resources are out there. It's up to you to be proactive and take the first step. We're here to help. Okay. Have a really great day today. I hope this was helpful to you. Again, a parent's perspective on the recruiting process. Um, it does take a village to get somebody to school, um, and we are here to help you. Thank you and have a great day. Hey everyone, Coach Bonnie from Icon Sports Recruiting. I wanted to make a clarification from my previous video about our software. I misspoke when I said that you could look up the class sizes and your major using our software. That is incorrect. Our software is specifically for the high school athlete who's looking to be recruited. It houses all of the colleges in the United States with all of the college coaches in every sport that's offered at that particular school. If in order to get the major and class sizes, I would cross-reference those schools in our software to the school's website and see if they have your major and see if they have the class sizes that you want. I apologize for this error, um, but I look forward to speaking with you if you have any other questions about college recruiting. You could check out our website, iconsportsrecruiting.com. You could email us at iconsportsrecruiting@gmail.com or simply call us or text us 732-865-3985. I will be more than happy to help you with your college recruiting process. Thank you and have a great day.